Previously on our 2025 Northern Road Trip. We hung out at Massacre Rock, checking out Oregon Trail history. We saw some amazing waterfalls. And we reached new heights at the Evel Knievel jump site before wrapping up and moving on. And there's our fearless sidekick Slim, who's he's very dirty. He needs a wash. He's got bugs all over him, but he's doing a great job. Couldn't ask for a better travel companion. And we're about to hit the road for places north of here.
Dirt, I need D-I-R-T, dirt!
And today is July the 27th. This is my black book, my itinerary, and this is what we actually have in store for today, except this, I think, was actually the thing that I filmed on a different episode already. So the main attraction is gonna be here in Montana. We're going to Bannack State Park, where I'm gonna spend the night. Kind of scheduled it so I get there a little earlier today because Bannack, which I want to feature on this episode, is huge. I think there's a lot to do there, a lot to see. That's going to take a lot of my day, I think, to film. So, but anyway, expect to get to check out some of that. I'm ahead of schedule again, not by much, about by 20 minutes. So we're leaving here about 20 minutes early, which is good because I got to get gas and then some coffee, and I know just the place up the road I'm gonna stop at, and then onward to Idaho Falls. Alrighty, let's get on out. Hit the road here, leaving Massacre Rocks State Park. Was here 2 days. Made a video here. If you haven't seen that one, it should have been released.
Turn right onto Park Lane.
And then
Continue on Park
got
Lane,
to explore Twin Falls, Idaho while I stayed here. I drove out there yesterday. That was fantastic. That was amazing. And today we're heading up to a bucket list item where I'm going to be spending the night, just one night, at Bannack State Park, a historic ghost town from the 1800s. Montana's gold rush history. So right now, yeah, I just need to fuel up, and there's a Maverick gas station. One of my favorite chains, I don't know why. It's always clean. They always have a lot of stuff to eat. Decent quality, I would say good quality. And usually their coffee has been pretty good. So I'm gonna hop in there. I have stuff to make breakfast, and I'm supposed to be doing that, but because I didn't want to disturb people and make noise, the Google thing's about to say something here, so I was waiting to get cut off. Anyway, so I'm gonna do that. There we go. I'm gonna do that first, and then we'll start filming. And I do have a stop or two, I think, along the way. But Bannack is the main goal today. So I'm just gonna document my trip there. Not horribly long drive. And then we'll explore the town together casually once I'm up there. Maybe even do some fishing today in the creek they have there. I do have a Montana state fishing license.
Turn left onto the I-86 US 30 ramp to American
at least for the next few days. Okay, I'm at Maverick, and I got myself a sausage and egg burrito. They're pretty, if you've never stopped at this gas station, not trying to advocate eating gas station food, but if you gotta, I've always thought that their product was good, and their coffee. Let's try it, I guess. Let's see if it's good today. Smells good. Smells strong. I know their coffee tends to run strong here. Hot. Yeah, that is good. That'll do. Say I like it better than McDonald's coffee. Might be a sin to say for some, but now let's try this burrito. I just filled up my tires. I topped off the tires because when it gets colder, when I travel, I notice after a couple days I have less tire pressure. So we rectified that. Nothing dangerous or anything. Just keeping on top of it. And let's see. It's good. I'm gonna go light on the recording as we're driving straight into the sun pretty much. But we're now on our way to Idaho Falls. I have a stop plotted and I'm ready to rock and roll. We'll get on foot and we'll explore a little bit. I've always wanted to see the town of Idaho Falls. I think there are waterfalls like in the middle of town, it's my understanding. And that's really where I plotted my route to go check that out. And then from there, we're gonna be heading up to Montana today. And we'll be in Montana 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the next 6 days. So you can see that I've favored the far north of our country for my Campvue Northern Tour, mainly just because obviously, you know, weather, it wouldn't really be conducive to going to do what I do in the winter months. And so you kind of have that window of time where you can go to the places I'm going to be going. And that was the whole strategy around it, was to get all of that northern business done, some big ticket campgrounds and parks, and then go back home, drop it all off, probably start editing and working on things. And then as I move forward in life, get employed, I'll be doing a lot of stuff closer to home. You know, my home state of Arizona, there's a wealth of campgrounds to document, and surrounding states that are, you know, within, you know, when I get the occasional 3-day weekend or something and vacations, I have plenty of spots that I can do. But it's just a reminder as to what this trip is actually all about. Anyway, let's not stare at the sun, even though this is a beautiful highway, nice little flowers everywhere, but I'll probably just catch up with you in Idaho Falls or whenever I see something worth filming. We're driving north. We're driving due north right now, which is what I want to see. We're only about 27 minutes outside of Idaho Falls, which I should say is another Cactus Atlas first. I don't recall passing through this way before, but I love these flowers. I forget what they're called. I think they're the same thing I see in other states, but they're everywhere here. So when you have the yellow with like all of the lush green farmland, yeah, Idaho's a very pretty place. I definitely would like to come back sometime and explore it some more thoroughly than I have on this trip, only there for 2 days. Well, I will be coming back through and staying in another state park on the way home, so I shouldn't say only 2 days, I guess 3. But there's so many things I've found that I want to do here. The list is a long one. Maybe I need to move every year to a different state so I have ample time to do everything I want to do. But it's been a really good trip so far, I'd say. I've been feeling really good. You know, all things considered with my situation that we've talked about before. Physically, I'm actually doing better on this trip than I would say I've been doing on many of past Cactus Atlas road trips. Like when I would take a week off from work and go drive somewhere far away and camp, I often struggled, but I think the struggle had to do with I wasn't paying as much attention to how much I was eating, drinking, and resting and leaving enough time at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, to take care of those needs. So I've shifted that. So the irony is, the past itineraries were jam-packed, so, you know, if I were able to do everything, then I would certainly cover more, but what always happened was I'd lose steam and things would start falling off the schedule. So you end up getting less done trying to cram it in than if you slow down a little bit. And I don't want to say I've slowed down too much. My days are busy, pretty much going at it all day long, but I do make sure at the end I can at least make dinner, have time to relax a little bit, which usually is laying on my cot, backing up clips onto a backup drive. But it's been going great, and it's 6 days in or something now? No, not quite. Not even that. I need to do an inventory in my head, but my brain is not working so much. I'm still waking up with my coffee. All right, we're almost there here in Idaho Falls. We've entered civilization, it appears. And I think what I want is this historic downtown area, the Riverwalk area, is what I decided is a good place to view what I want to see, or what I think I want to see. So we'll just hang out here. We only have like 3 minutes to go, and we'll drive into town together. I'm stocked up on everything I need still. I don't really need to get groceries or
take exit 118,
anything yet.
15 business, US 20 business,
Doing
US 20 west, historic
good.
downtown.
But should just be kind of a quick stop, stretch our legs a bit, and then we'll move on down the road.
At the light, turn right onto I-15
Okay.
business loop south, US 20 business.
All right, there's the waterfalls right there. Look, it's Idaho Falls. It's actually a beautiful sign. Well done.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto River Parkway.
Okay. I will, but what is this? I guess it's just saying it's split up here. So Idaho Falls, huh? Don't know much about Idaho Falls, but to me it resembles most American towns with all the... Oh shoot, I went the wrong way, darn it. I was supposed to go straight. I was talking too much. I need to go down to that next light, but I assume we can cheat and reroute this way. That's what happens when you talk too much and you're looking around at everything. Reroute me, reroute me. Oh gosh, I don't know if it is gonna... I'm looking at my map. I'm not really seeing how.
Head northeast on North Utah Avenue towards
Oh,
Seattle
come
Street.
on.
Then turn right onto Seattle Street.
Like, it's... Google's like behind. It's like I pass the street it wants me to reroute to, and then it tells me to turn around.
Turn right onto Lindsay
Oh,
Boulevard.
you
Then
guys get
turn
to see the
left
back
onto
streets
I-15
of
business
Idaho
loop
Falls.
south.
Who else would show you that, huh?
Head southeast on Denver Street.
All right. This time we're not going to screw up, but Google's like all confused as all heck. There we go. Google is now straightened out again, as am I. Smitty's Pancake House. So I need to turn here, right?
At the
Or
light, turn left onto River Parkway.
all right, we're gonna turn here on the River Parkway. I see the river. I see waterfalls also. Looks really pretty down here. Well, yeah, look at that. You guys should be able to see it cutting around this way. My understanding is that's not natural
In a quarter
anymore.
mile, your destination will be on the right.
I guess I need to start thinking about parking, don't I? There's plenty of parking across the street, but we'll drive to where I plotted and then we'll just get out, and this looks like it might exceed my expectations kind of thing. I'm looking forward to this. Wow, you're gonna get a good look at this. Can you hear it? That's a rumble. That is a rumble. And this moose caught my eye. That is a cool looking sculpture. And it's nice and cool out too. I'm actually enjoying the weather here. All right, let's try to get a good view. There's a lot of trees in the way. Maybe over this way will be a good spot, and then we'll walk down to the right a ways and check it out. But this is cool. My understanding is like that's partially man-made, but it's a force to be reckoned with. I didn't realize it was this big. Like I've seen other people film here, but until you can get here and hear it and feel the rumble, it's definitely, I thought it was just gonna be a nice gentle flow, but no. That's got some force to it. I think there's a river back there, and then this man-made thing, I guess, creates the falls. But I think there were falls here before they did that, right? I don't know the full history of it. Here's another good view. Wow, you can even feel like the breeze coming off that, presumably from all that water flow. This just keeps going and going, and there's like different like viewing decks too. This is wonderful. We'll head over here. There's a sign about the falls, so maybe we can learn something. I was reading the signs, and it seems like this was man-made and dates back to like 1976. There was a really bad disaster, I guess, a flood in the area, but they decided to build this man-made waterfall to power a turbine that powered 1/3 of the city. It's really cool. To me, I love feats of engineering like this. And I believe that should be the Snake River right up there too, where we were just camping off the banks and fishing. Very well curated grounds too. Lots of blooming flowers over here. Whoever is in charge of this does a great job. Hey, you just walk up and down this whole thing and enjoy. Probably hard to hear me talk, isn't it? So I don't think I was prepared, like I said, for the force here that you experience and hear. And the rumble you can feel in the ground at times from this, and how far it stretches too.
impressive. Most impressive.
Alrighty, I think that satisfies my sweet tooth for this sort of thing. This is really all I had planned. A quick stop to just check this out, and it was well worth it. Well worth it. So what do you guys think of that? That's pretty cool. Hopefully so. I want to say that we'll probably be in Montana in the next 15 minutes or so, I think. But now, basically our next destination, the main destination, is Bannack State Park in Montana, which is only a couple hours away. I will be there a little early.
Turn right onto River Parkway.
Which is great because that's a lot to do and see.
Turn right onto I-15 Business Loop North, West Broadway Street.
My plan is to just do a casual exploration of the ghost town as part of this video. Not really go terribly deep into the history, but as I'm filming that, I'm going to be, on this one, trying to focus more on what's called B-roll, meaning trying to get nice still shots, maybe set up tripods, all without talking, so I can do like a narrated historical video on something like that later on. Like, you know how I do that sometimes, we'll kind of recycle old footage.
Turn right onto the I-15 to Roberts View.
So I can do more robust storytelling later without having to rehearse and remember every single detail in advance. So so that's kind of the game plan, you know, go, if I can set up my tent and get that all done, if I can check in early, I'm going to. And then there is a creek that runs through Bannack, and you can fish it. I have a Montana state fishing license for the next few days, so we'll kind of continue that endeavor and just need to switch up lures and start fishing for trout, not bass. But anyway, we're about to get back on the highway here. I did notice earlier some bug splats on my camera, the first time that's ever happened. Nothing major, but there may have been a few scenes with something
Turn right onto the I-15
obstructing the view, so hopefully I do try to check it frequently so I don't have entire videos worth with issues like that. Anyway, Idaho Falls, that was cool. That was really cool. I thought that's pretty cool. One sign was talking about how there's like a European style turbine they buried where they have that water running off to help power the city. And I don't know when the article was written. I don't know what the current power consumption of the town is. But I guess at the time of the writing of that sign, that alone like provided a third of the town's energy needs, which is pretty cool that they did that, so to help solve problems. Really neat, really, really neat. Like that actually impressed me. Although I guess some could argue I'm easy to impress. Very little do I find disappointment with. I always try to see the positive things, and but that was awesome. I think it's probably just because I'm not used to it, and I know I'm not the only one. I see others, but like all of the highways since like Utah and Idaho, the speed limit's 80 miles an hour virtually anywhere on any interstate you're on. And I find it interesting when you go into construction zones. Anywhere I'm from, the speed limit usually drops to like 45 miles an hour, maybe 55 at best, sometimes even less. Around here, I drove through a few construction zones and the speed limit drops to 70 in a construction zone. I'm like, whoa, must be exciting to be a construction worker on highways like this. But not a complaint. All I'm trying to say is it's weird, coming from a region where I fancy we have some high speed limits like 70 miles an hour. Where I'm originally from, that would be unheard of. And then when I get to like these states where the speed limit's 80, I rarely hit 80. I don't know what it is. Like I don't I don't feel the need to, I guess, but I think it's just because you're not used to it and you don't pay attention, not using cruise control or anything. So I'm always like the slow grandpa, I guess, on these roads, getting passed by everybody. All right, I think I'm going to shut up for a few minutes. Don't want to just waste all of my footage on and battery power on interstate footage. We can do better than that. But yeah, let's head on down to, or head on up to Bannack, Montana. If you've not heard of Bannack and you like ghost towns and stuff, think you're gonna want to stick around and watch. I would say there's an aspect of it. You guys that have watched the show for a long time know that I love Bodie, California, and have been several times now. And I like Bodie just because of how well the Old West architecture is preserved and lasted, stood the test of time. And Bannack has got kind of that, where you can really reimagine and step inside it. And I believe they let you go inside buildings, and you could see old Victorian wallpaper and all that kind of stuff. So that's my expectation anyway. And what watching other people's videos taught me. And it became a bucket list item at some point for me on my list of ghost towns. So gonna be marking a big one off my list. It's just remarkable how wide open and big this area looks. It just, you feel small for some reason up this ways. I don't know what it is about this. Maybe it's just because there's no trees and gently rolling hills that allow you to see further in the distance, I guess. But around each and every bend, you see something a little different. You had some pine trees right back there, and now it's just like scrubland. The sea of it, as far as the eye can see. Just crossed into Montana. So I don't know what I was thinking when I was in Idaho Falls, and I was like, oh, I think we're about 15 minutes away. Maybe I had a different route plotted, and we kind of were, and but the way we went was different. I don't know, but we're in Montana now, officially. I was in Montana briefly when I was at Yellowstone a couple years ago, like in the northern section, kind of tiptoed into Montana briefly, but didn't spend a lot of time. And the speed limit's still 80, so that's cool. They didn't change it up on us. we see all these wide open spaces that people oftentimes associate with Montana, the big sky country. I imagine if you go further east, it's more flat plains and probably bigger sky. We're going to be pretty much sticking to the western side of the state in the more mountainous regions on this adventure. Certainly going to be spending many nights in grizzly bear country, but probably nothing to worry about tonight. But starting tomorrow night, where we're going to be heading up, we'll be outside of West Glacier in the Flathead National Forest for a couple days, exploring more, remote areas than like national parks and stuff. And then of course I'll be inside Glacier National Park for a couple days, camping in there, really focusing heavily. That's like probably the most important part of my entire trip, is documenting the campgrounds of Glacier National Park. Probably the main reason why we're heading up almost to the border. It's funny to say that because I live in Arizona, so when I say border, I always think of the Mexican border, talking about the Canadian border. And it just kind of occurred to me that this year, I don't know, a couple months ago now, I did my first camping adventure at post-cancer treatment at Morgan Pipe Cactus National Monument, right on the border. You could see the border from where I was camping, so depending on time, I may actually drive right up to the border, the northern border on this one, so I could say in 1 year I've pretty much been at both borders of the United States. The deeper we go into Montana, the more beautiful the landscapes get, apparently. I think there'll be a cool view up and over this rise. There's some really jagged looking peaks off to the straight ahead and to the left a little bit. Look at that. And beautiful lighting too, with a few clouds in the air, and we're crossing the Beaverhead River. It's like a really pretty river, actually. I saw some people rafting in it when I drove by just a few minutes ago. But yeah, this is awesome. Really enjoying this drive today a lot more than I thought I was going to. Some days it's just nice to be in the truck on the open road. Of course, I like to explore on foot too. But it's kind of nice not driving like really uber long distances like I have been. Something a little bit more reasonable today. Just, I don't know what it was, 3 hours, 3.5 hours, as opposed to like 6. You can get a lot more done. And we're making good progress up north to our, destination up north. Man, this is nice. We got about 12 miles, I guess, till we get off the highway. And then from there, total, we're only 30 minutes away from Bannack at this point. I can imagine this whole area is pretty harsh in the winter. Harsh for a guy like me, coming from Arizona. But I don't know if I'll ever have the opportunity in my lifetime, but it's like as I travel, it's almost like I'm kind of scouting out areas of the country, maybe if I could ever be a type of person that has a northern residence and a southern residence for the winter, I would be one of those, just to escape the oppressive heat of summer of the south and then come up to big expansive landscapes like this in the summertime. I don't know what it is. And look at this mountain pass here. Wow. I'm excited about this. I'm excited about spending the night at Bannack. The campground looked pretty nice to me. I don't think it has, for a state park, my understanding, it doesn't have all the facilities that I've been enjoying on this trip, which has mainly been showers. I got showers 2 days in a row at Massacre Rocks. Antelope Island had plenty of showers, but they had water shut off during my trip, so I wasn't able to shower there. And then at Coral Pink Sand Dunes there were showers. But I think I'm entering a stretch of 3 days now, starting tonight, and then the next 2 nights outside of, in West Glacier, the National Forest Campground, where I will not be with showers, but I have countermeasures to get through that in a hygienic way, so not worried about it. But it's one thing about the whole trip, because even after I'm done in that northern Montana, when I swing back down through Wyoming and it'll be Yellowstone, Grand Tetons, I think virtually everywhere I stay has showers, if not laundry facilities. So I'll have all of the modern convenience mixed with the great outdoors. I kind of like that balance. We got off the highway onto Route 278. I don't know if Google Maps is correct or not. It probably is, but this little 2-lane road, the speed limit apparently is 70 miles an hour. And I'm stuck behind these people. Like this whole ride, I've been like the slow guy, and now I'm behind really slow people, but in a way I don't really care. If I can pass safely, I will, but mainly just because I want to get better shots of the road without someone in front of me here. I think I have an opportunity right here, actually, to do it. Oh yeah, we got all the time in the world. I love it. Like I said, not being a speed demon here or anything, but at some point, if the speed limit actually is 70 and you're going like 50 or 45 miles an hour, you gotta put a little bit more, give that pedal a little bit more mustard. Look at this beautiful farmland though. I love this. Alrighty, we're getting so close now, only about 6 miles to go. And the drive in has been absolutely beautiful. A mix of pine trees on some of these hills and expansive views like you can see out beyond. Wonderful, wonderful. Look at that. And somewhere down below, I imagine, is this town site we're seeking out. We'll see who spots it first. My ears are popping a bit though. We're going up and down a lot. Look at it, just how expansive this is. I need better adjectives. I keep saying the same things. Wow. You can just see forever out here. This is your pilot, Glenn, and this is our final approach into Bannack, Montana. The current temperature is a beautiful 76 degrees. Let's hope it stays that way. All right, I made it. I went to check in, we're all good. I'm in Site 9, which should be this one. So this is a site here. That's a really tiny site. I don't know what they're doing with that, but site 9, it's me, and come check this out. So I love this site already. The best part though is look what I got right here. The creek. I asked the guy just to double check, I can fish here, right? And he said, yeah. He says you can try. He says the water's not really flowing as much, which makes sense usually in summertime. It's not, but there's definitely water in here. But I don't know, like I'll have to kind of, you could see through to the bottom, so I know fish don't like to hang out in the sun. So we'll have to kind of scout this out. I don't know if today is gonna really have too much in my future in that regard, but maybe I'll spot some fish, or we'll head up and down the stream later and see. But presumably the same creek that started the gold rush here, where they likely found a lot of that placer gold. But man, this is a idyllic setting, isn't it? I do have, you know, I guess my only complaint is, you know, some of these sites are uncomfortably close together. I think this is someone's site, and then there's 2 more here, but I'm here. And the thing that I really like about this is I got lots of nice level ground for my tent, and probably gonna put it somewhere right around here. Try to keep a little bit of distance, I guess, from the neighboring folks, so they don't hear me snoring. Although after my cancer stuff, I've been told I don't snore as much. So maybe all of that tumor that I used to have was making me snore more. I don't know if anybody knows anything about that, if that's a thing. So anyway, let me get camp set up, I guess, and we'll get started. Maybe right here, actually. This might be perfect. Far enough away. Somebody left me wood too, by the way. So I'm gonna make a little fire tonight with that spare wood. All right, there's the final product and what I decided to do. I would have preferred to have it closer to the tree, but with that variable right there, I don't want to be just feet away from somebody. I need to get some space. So I put it here, but I could see the shade is retreating this way, so the tent will soon be in the full sun, but then this tree and the shade should come this way by the afternoon, I'm thinking. So really nice shade overall in this campground. I'm impressed. Yeah, this place gives me a really good vibe. I mean, this really seems like an awesome place to camp. So I think what I'm going to do is, for our Campvue channel, I always plug this on every episode now, but I have another channel and an app. I think it's probably safe to say the app is out by now. So I'm gonna, even though that's, for me, that's in the near future, it's pretty much built. I just have to get back home and clean up a few things. But that's at Campvue, CAMPVUE.com. So you could either go to our channel of the same name on YouTube, Campvue, or campvue.com, the app. I would recommend the app because you can see the same videos there, but you can actually go and look at things site by site rather than have to watch a whole video and kind of scroll through all the sites and see the same video cut up per site. So it's a lot more convenient. You can favorite sites so you can remember them for the future. It'll be saved with your account. It's free, by the way, and you can write reviews on individual campsites. So it's like Yelp for campsites. So you could either read other people's reviews or contribute to the community and write your own. So that's really what that is. But on that note, I need to do the Campvue business here, which is my campground drive-through. I like to do them around this time of the day when the previous day's campers have checked out and the new ones have not checked in yet, just because I like to get a lot of the sites empty, because sometimes it's nice to see, if someone has an RV or something, it's helpful to see it in a spot, but sometimes they block the view too of the campsite. So I like to do it now. And although I'm not doing anything wrong, I just also like to be, you know, I like to respect people's privacy as much as I can, even though I'm in a public spot and I'm entitled to do it by law. I always just prefer to hit things at the quiet time of the day and just get it as vacant as possible. So that's just my philosophy with that. But anyway, let me get to that. And then afterwards, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might take a break, come back here, hang out, or I might start with a town site I might make 2 runs at the town site. It's open till 9 p.m. because the sun doesn't set until around 9 p.m. here. So basically I've got a long time to spend here and document the whole thing, which I intend to do. All right, I finished the Campvue drive-thru already. I'm typically doing those as soon as I arrive, you know, because I'm arriving at places when it's hot, so I can sit in my AC and drive around. They haven't been taking that long at anywhere I've been. This has 2 campgrounds, Vigilante and Highwayman or Roadman or something like that. I already forget, but the other one's smaller. So I got that done, and then I decided to eat lunch. So I'll show you what I've got going on. Yummy, huh? Kale salad. Yum, yum, yum. So it's one of those Taylor Farms, if you have that brand. It's a single serving salad. It has like a creamy poppy seed dressing and cranberries and some nuts and stuff you can mix into it. Before cancer, I didn't eat as much stuff like that. After cancer, I understand the importance of good nutrition and this type of thing, like these superfoods, these super greens like kale. I think this has actually got broccoli in it and other like raw things cut up, like cruciferous vegetables, I think is the term, are very good for you. And you know, good for people like me. So I've taught myself to enjoy it as much as I can, and I eat a lot of these. So in fact, usually 1 a day. I've been trying to eat, you know, this thing. And the thing I find about the kale salad, helpful tip, I think it travels really well in coolers. It's not like it doesn't get slimy or dry like others, and the expiration dates last on these things. And I think the dressing might be the only concern, but there's so many preservatives in it. You probably are fine, but I've been keeping up with ice management in the cooler, so this stuff has been staying nice and cold. You don't want to freeze stuff like that, or else the texture can get weird. So I have like a compartment at the top where I keep things like that, if you want to know some of my handy secrets for travel. But they're really easy to eat, you know, you just do it and get it done. Not the greatest in terms of calories. I think it's like 260 calories for this whole thing. So if you're trying to lose weight or whatever, good deal. I'm trying to gain some weight back, so I got to eat other things. So sometimes I'll supplement this, like today, with hard-boiled eggs. So I usually do it in pieces. So I'm gonna eat now and get that chore done, and then later tonight I think I'm gonna might make chili or something like that with a peanut butter sandwich. I know that's not the healthiest thing, but it'll give me energy too, so, and some calories. Anyway, and it's nice because I have till 9 p.m. and I'm just enjoying this view while I eat lunch, and I've got, you know, I don't feel rushed. That's the important thing. If you want to get me to eat, I can't feel rushed, or else I'll start skipping meals, and that's why I plan this trip so carefully to have lunch breaks and dinner time. So, but basically, yeah, this is my view at the moment here. The view's better looking the other way, but I want to stay out of the sun. It's starting to cloud up a little bit though. I don't think there's any rain in the forecast, but the clouds have been building. All right, lunch has been eaten, and now I'm ready to actually go explore the town. And we're early a little bit, but I want all the time in the world. I might make 2 different passes at it. Go now, go later to get better photography later in the day. The sky's the limit. You know what else is the limit? This video. Trust me, Bannack Ghost Town is so impressive that we didn't want to cut out a single bit of it. So you'll have to wait patiently for the next part when we explore the town. It might just be sooner than you think. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoy this kind of content, give the video a like, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you next week.